Hi there. Just want to share a concept that's been coming to mind in relation to our solar plexus center, our shoulds, and how shoulds can turn into shame. And, this center is quite interesting because it processes a lot of our mental energy in terms of our planning and logic and personality and ego and what we like and dislike and our beliefs around ourselves and our beliefs around our society and constructs. And this is where the energy of our shoulds stems from. And this center is fueled by external factors, right? What our upbringing was like, what our friends are like, what our colleagues and maybe some teachers and bosses and so on and so forth are like. And in our mind or in how we process how we should show up or who we should be or what we should do in order to maybe fit in or prove or accomplish, so on and so forth. So the shoulds aren't always negative. The important piece is to ask where that should is coming from, because the word should is in its core, it means debt, right? To owe. Essentially, it's like an obligation. And so if that should is coming from a place of ego or having to or needing to validate someone else's perspective of oneself, usually that shows up in the solar plexus and it feels inauthentic, and the body will let one know. And so, when in my work with other people, when I hear their shoulds without judgment, I'm listening to, where is this coming from? Is it coming from a place of, this is what my heart desires, and maybe there are some fears around the actions that I'm taking. So, maybe a little stuck there. Or maybe not having the resources or whatever the case is. But if it's coming from the heart, it's still very authentic. It still feels like this is true to my soul. This is something that I want to work towards, or this is what I want to put discipline into so that I can have the results that I want. And when it's coming from a place of ego, it tends to generate some anxious feelings. Maybe shows up in how we show our power. Sometimes we can get a little frustrated and force things. And this is our center that represents our action, right? And so are my actions coming from a place of love, of understanding, of patience, of grace, rather than, I should do this so that other people are happy or other people see this version of myself. Because shame essentially turns to guilt, and it is a feeling of dishonor or disgrace, right? So if I'm coming from shoulds that are looking to prove something to those around me, at some level, I am in dishonor to self. And the most important piece is to never betray self, right? Because that's what we need to keep true and connected to our heart space. So just a reminder to listen to your language. When are you using the word should? And, is it coming from a place of you're just used to it and that's what you're using? Is it coming from a place of debt to something or someone that might not be true to who you are? Or is it coming from your heart space, the most important place, so that you live true to yourself and have the results and the reality that you desire? Namaste.